Hello and happy Friday. So today I had a upper body day, and it was the main things I did were the things I did were overhead press 5x5. Did my front lever training currently at the single leg tucked progression. Also did a bunch of pull-ups. Did some bench press 10x10, and did a back lever, just a single back lever hold, just to maintain the movement. Then I also did some horizontal rows and seated rows. And after that, what did I do last? Yeah, I did some tricep pull downs as well. So that comprised my upper body day. Pretty long workout. And I do need to figure out a way to, shorten the workout or, you know, put some exercises on different days. And so that's something I'm really thinking about right now. Even though the workout is kind of long, 2 hours, I think I'm doing it as efficiently as I possibly could. So I'm doing a lot of supersetting. So while I'm doing the overhead pressing, I'm also supersetting it with the front lever progression. And that wouldn't be possible very soon because the next gym I'm going to be going to very soon. So in the New Year's, I'm going to switch gyms. It wouldn't be possible to do this supersetting because it's just a busier gym, and I'd feel a little bit, a little bit shitty if I'm taking up two areas of the gym. So I need to think about how I can, move around my workouts, exercises such that I can, still hit all the things I want to hit. But do it in such a way that I wouldn't have to superset so much, and I could, maybe shorten different days and move some exercises different days. I know it's possible. It's just something I need to work out logistically. So on the overhead press, I did 110 pounds 5x5, and this is the same thing I did last week as well. I decided to just stay with this weight. And the main reason I did that was because last week it felt super, super challenging. So it felt super hard. And I felt like I didn't feel super confident with the weight. So I decided to, stick with the weight for now. And this week, I think that was a good idea because this week I did feel much stronger with the weight. I felt more confident. So I feel confident enough to increase the weight I'm going to be working with when I do this the next time. Yeah, on the front levers, I initially wanted to progress from the single leg tuck to the single leg advanced tuck. So the only difference between the two progressions is that in the advanced tuck, your tucked leg is no longer pressed up to your body as closely. So you're sort of like opening up your hips a little bit more. And I mean, with the advanced tuck, what I want to do is that my tuck leg, I would like my femur to be past to make past a 90-degree angle with my torso and my extended leg. So that's what I need to work towards. But I mean, I tried doing that for at least 1 or 2 weeks, and I just can't really hold that for anything more than 3, 4 seconds. So as an intermediary, what I decided to do was do a more advanced tuck, not advanced per se, but more advanced, in that I open my hips a little bit more. Like instead of pressing my thighs against my as closely to my torso as possible. I open that a little bit more, so give a little bit more of an angle. And I think it's a little bit more challenging, but I think it's a good intermediary. So I'm gonna just gradually pull out my legs so I can get to the advanced tuck hold. I've also tried the straddle, and the straddle I just can't seem to get a hold on the straddle. I don't know what to do with my glutes. I don't know how to hold the hollow position with the straddle. It's just a very awkward thing for me, so I've just decided not to really do it. And I was able to learn the back lever without ever going through the straddle, so I think I could do the front lever without going through the straddle as well. What I did with the back lever was after the advanced hook, I then went to the full lay, so where everything is straight from your shoulders all the way to your knees, then you're tucked from your knees, so you're sort of like pushing your heels closer to your butt as possible. But I would say with this progression, I felt pretty strong. I was holding for about something like 7 seconds, for the most part. Maybe some few of them were about, I mean, maybe the last two or so were 6 seconds. But generally, it was about 7 seconds, and I felt really good with that. I think I also felt good with the straightness, sort of like the angle my extended leg was making with my torso. I think it was just looking more aesthetically pleasing overall. Just gonna stick with that. Also, I also like to do pretty high volume bench press. And I today I did 125 10 by 10. Last week I did 120 10 by 10, and I'm moving up to 125 with 5 pounds increase. I will say I do need to, think a little bit more about my bench press programming. I don't think is the most well optimized for strength gains. Right now I'm really just focusing on getting back into the movement, reacclimatizing to the movement. Just getting my body used to bench pressing again, to be honest. I haven't done it for a long time, and when I first go back into it, I would, still feel some pains in my scapula. So I want to just get used to that again. I think this high volume stuff is pretty good. But honestly, maybe ideally I would, move on from this super high volume 10 by 10. Like I think a lot of it might be just, junk volume. So I want to think about that a little bit more, how to do still high volume, but more quality volume. Think about periodization, things about the rep schemes I'm using that are going to be more suited towards strength, because that's really my overall goal is strength, right? So but I think for now I just wouldn't tweak too many things. I think I'm just gonna keep working with this till my meet. I'm just gonna do the best I can on the bench press. I think I could do 2 plates of the meat. I really feel like that is on the table. But then from then I'll then think a little bit. I'll think much more closely about my bench press. Maybe I would even run a program that is specifically targeted at increasing bench press. That focuses on bench press and just try to maintain my squat on my deadlift. That's something I'll think about later on. Also something to think about is I think my form on the bench press. One thing I've liked is that I think with a closer grip, I'm able to maintain more upper back tightness. So it does feel better. Like it feels like I get more of a bounce from my lats at the bottom of the movement, which is nice. Um, it's kind of like a similar stretch reflex at the bottom of the squat when you go all the way down, and then you feel a little bit of a bounce in your hamstrings and your posterior chain in general. Um, so I'm able to feel that a little bit more, but something I need to work on. This is why I filmed a lot of these from the side is just the contact my butt makes with the bench. I need to maintain more contact. I think in some of these reps it's arguable, like it might be on the fence whether or not my glutes are maintaining contact with the bench throughout the motion. So I need to maintain appreciable contact. And something I sort of like learned while I was bench pressing to maintain this contact was if I maintain the same foot placement, but just flare out my toes a little bit more, I was better able to maintain that contact while maintaining a similar amount of leg drive. So that's just something to think about. So I would, continue to play with this as I continue to bench press during this cycle and see how well that works. Something else I did was on the pull-ups, well, more so chin-ups. I decided to start start practicing pull-ups cause um cause yeah cause I'm gonna very soon have to be doing pull-ups because when I change gyms, I know the gym I usually use, there I wouldn't have access to the same kind of chin up, resources that I do right now, especially when I'm bench pressing, because I like to superset these things. So I'll need to, start doing pull-ups, because if I do chin ups on a straight bar, it's very awkward on my wrists. So I need to just think about that a little bit more, just practice the pull-ups. Do feel stronger with the chin ups, but I mean, it's good to work out things you're not, very good at, right? So I think it's gonna be a welcome change, train my back in a different way, and I think probably even has more of a carryover to most calisthenics movements, because you think about it, the pull up, your palms are sort of like facing the same direction your palms are facing in most calisthenics movements, anyways, facing downwards. So that's something I was think about as well. But overall, it was a pretty decent upper body day, and looking forward to the next one. Peace.